y'all. Thanks for joining me tonight for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together. All right, tonight we're continuing with our little Catnap Under the Jade. There we are. We are going to hopefully finish these 4-stranded jades tonight, and their stems will get going on. We still have all the 2-strand jade leaves to do in that lighter green color. So, man, I don't know. We're going to get there, you guys, though. I think maybe by Friday we'll be stitching the little kitty cat. That would be ideal. All right, so let's get going tonight. Okay, here we are. All right, so this is where we left off last night. We stayed a little late to get a few more little leaves in there. So I'm down to my last set of strands here from my original 6-strand embroidery floss. So let's get that going. I would like to go speedily today. See if we can get... I think we'll get all these green guys done pretty quickly, and then it'd be great to get a new color on here. Do the stems. So there are some of these stems that are still 4 strands. So again, I'm referring to my pattern here, and I have the colors and the stitches on this side, and this side tells me when to use 6 strands of floss, 4 strands, 2 strands, and 1 strand. We are going to be getting those different thicknesses of stitches just from using a different number of strands. All right, let's get going right away. I think I'm going to do this guy down here, and then like I said, I'm looking at that diagram, and then I'll finish this guy, because then I can get this one. And then I think this is the last one, so I can go zoop here. Instead of like going down here and having to jump way up there, I think we'll just start down here on this one. So, all right, let's get my loop situated here again. Good. Okay, so loop method to start. I'm going to start on this leaf right here, doing the back stitch. So in and out, and then... on the back, we are going to catch that loop, which is just from folding the floss together there. So I'm putting my thread inside that loop and then pulling the rest of the way. And our loop is now caught there on the back, which is perfect. So now we can just get started stitching. So that's the loop method. My new favorite way of starting, for sure. Oh, Marcia says, I'm so loving this loop method for starting. It really is awesome. Oops, it's quick and just doesn't put like any extra bulk on the back. The only bummer is that you have to use an even amount of thread, and you have to be doing a stitch where you're not going in the exact same hole. But you could just make like a tiny little stitch to catch on the back if your next stitch is going to cover it up, then no one will see it either. So just like one little stitch would do. Oh, is this the... Oh yeah, this is still part of the... It looked like the back of the cat, but that wouldn't make sense because the leaves would be in front of the cat. Hello, random. Hey, Catherine. Thanks again, everyone, for popping in here tonight. We are stitching away on this little kitty cat under the jades. So I did not attempt to ride, bike, and work on my tatting project at the same time today. However, I did take it out of the tatting bag and I placed it over by the bike. So one more step to giving it a try. Maybe tomorrow will be the day. I'm thinking it'll work. Oh, Catherine says this block of the month is really beautiful. Thanks so much. I really like this one. This is sort of like a little Chad kitty, my parents' cat. And it's probably not exactly like him, but in my head I was thinking of him when I was drawing it. And then this jade plant is at our house. And actually, you guys, this table that the jade plant at my house here is sitting on, that's actually the cabinet for my steampunk sewing machine. So that's the cabinet. I actually really just wanted the cabinet. So this is what I got at that huge garage sale from all around the city here in Minneapolis. The textile center does a huge garage sale where you donate a bunch and then you can go there and buy stuff too. So I saw that machine. That's where I got my steampunk sewing machine, which I freaking love. And I wanted a nice cabinet for it. So a cabinet is just like where you can fold your machine in it and it turns into a table and then you can fold the machine out. It's kind of like magic because machines are super duper heavy. So it's got these special hinges that can handle all that weight, just like the machine dangling there. It's just kind of fascinating. But anyway, a lot of cabinets are so super duper bulky, big heavy pieces of furniture, and I didn't want that. I wanted just like an end table looking thing, something that you could stick your legs underneath too, not like, or that looked like a table, like just had normal legs. It wasn't like a big massive piece of furniture. And so they had this cabinet at that garage sale, but they wouldn't sell it to me unless I took the machine that was also in it. So that's how I got that 1960s Kenmore, the one with the cams. Oh God, that machine is so heavy. So that one with the cams, we should get that one out again. That one is what came in this cabinet. But typically, when I'm not using my steampunk, my 1930s Kenmore, that's in here, hiding in there, like a secret magic piece, just hiding away, ready to be used. But yeah, so this is my little sewing cabinet here for that. So it's a little portrait of the corner of our living room, and I just put Chad in there. Chad has not been here, and will not come here. That's okay. Oh, hey, Katie! Oh, Jared and Katie are watching. Yay! Love seeing Chad in this month's embroidery. Oh, that's nice. Hope you guys are doing well. That's my brother Jared and his girlfriend are watching. Katie's a Kit subscriber, so she gets the little Chad kitty this month, and you guys are gonna have to get a little kitty cat. Anyway, I just fixed. It wasn't broken, but I just added to a crocheted hat that my brother Jared made. I added 2 rows, and I made it. I added like 2 rows by the ears, so my ears would be a hair more covered. But I left the front at the same height, so it kind of like dips down now. It's my favorite winter hat, and it just like my ears were just a teeny bit too exposed, so I added those rows. But now it's too cold to even wear it. I gotta wait till it's like the warm part of winter again. I suppose we're getting there. It was like 30 or something today, I think. Not negative 30. When it's the negatives, that's when I get like my whole fur. I don't know, it's probably fake fur, I don't even know. Mutton chop hat out. That thing is like the key to winter. We're it goes like around your face and down to like buckles at your chin. But it'd be nice to wear a normal winter hat again. All right, sped through this guy. Let's do our little chain stitches that are in the middle. And you guys, I'm almost out of thread already. Sheesh Louise. All right, let's get that single chain stitch here. Boop. Marsha wants a video of me tatting and riding the bike. If it works, I will definitely take a video. It was a crazy idea that popped in my head yesterday, and I'm like, oh, bet you that'll work. Then I can do some more tatting. I'm going to ride the bike for a little while tomorrow. I'm trying to trade off, all right, I'm going to jump back up to this one. I'm trying to keep the whole exercising routine up. I've been really good since the beginning of the year. That's kind of when I started. I think I started actually a little bit before. I didn't go for my walk yet today, but we might go. The plan is to go when I'm done here, go for like a little night walk just to get it in. John did some running today, and I did my morning workout stuff. But we've been trying to stick to that, so no excuses. We're going to go out tonight. But I've been trying to keep my morning workouts, so like the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do like a high, what do they call, the interval training stuff, which has weights and that sort of thing. And then ride the bike before then. And then on my off days, I try to ride the bike a little bit longer. So I'm trying to stick to that. So it's the longer bike ride tomorrow. Oh, Amber says the back of your projects are just as pretty if it's the front. Oh, mine are always a hot mess. Oh, thanks, Amber. The biggest thing that has made the backs better is doing this weaving in of my threads instead of tying knots. Oh my god, I barely have enough thread to do this chain stitch. Just made it. So I'm going to finish this floss here. Because then my thread won't catch on any knots on the back. So there's nothing right now on the back for my knots to catch on. Like there's just nothing. Everything's smooth. So I'm going to weave in the ends. So like instead of tying a knot here, I'll weave in the ends. And typically I'll weave in the ends at the beginning. But we've been doing a special technique for starting for this project called the loop method, which does not create a knot either on the back. But yeah, like I'm trying to actively not jump like really far either. Although there's nothing wrong with any of that. For me, it's mostly about, well, I know people struggle with it. So I'm trying to show them how to do a little bit more. It really is okay if it doesn't look good. It's going to be covered, and it's part of the process. But I just really don't like the personal annoyance of, like, if you're stitching and then, you know, you got a knot on the back here, and then you catch it by mistake, and then you've stitched, like, 100 more stitches, and then you look at the back, and it's like, ugh, I got that whole loop of thread there. That's what I don't like. And also, when you tie a knot, it's got the little end. Like, you tie a knot and you got, like, the little fuzzles on the end, right? I hate when you stitch and those come through to the front. Ugh, I just can't stand those two things. So what took care of that is this loop method of starting. And that just kind of, or not the loop method of starting. Well, that and the weaving in the ends. Then all the knots just went away, and my back just happened to get better by not having them there. All right, you guys, I'm having a mental dilemma here. I have only this much thread left. I do have a whole nother skein, and I will probably have to break open this. But do I do the 2 strands and fold it in half and just like stitch with this teeny little bit? Yeah, okay, I made my decision. That is what I'm going to do. The other option was to take actually 4 strands out of it, and then I'd have a little bit of a longer piece. But then I'd have 2 strands left over. I think I'm just going to do the loop method still with the shorter amount. because normally with the loop method, I want to double up the amount because I'm folding the thread in half, but we're just gonna have to start the floss a bunch of times with this little bit, but we'll probably use it all up. And we might actually not need any more, which would be super duper cool. I did include an extra one in the kit though, because I know that this was going to use a ton of thread. Lots of green. All right, so I'm taking 2 strands and I am doubling up the ends, or I'm bringing the ends together. So then when they're together, it makes 4 strands, and that's what we're stitching right now. We're stitching the 4-strand area of the pattern. So again, this pattern has different number of strands to give that effect of like perspective. So the objects that are closest to us, like the top of the jade plant, those are bigger stitches than the things that are farthest away from us, like the kitty down there. And here's again the sample piece. So it's really subtle, but it does help a little bit. So like here I'm using 6 strands of thread, so my stitches are really thick. And then down here, everything far away is just with 1 strand, so it becomes like super duper delicate. It actually almost looks like we're focusing the camera on down here, and like the top is almost like blurred out a little bit because they're big. Oh, Amber says absolutely adds tons of perspective and depth. Oh, that's so good to hear. Like I knew it was pretty subtle, I thought, but I think it's just kind of a fun idea. I know we've talked about doing a project that uses different numbers of threads for a long time here, and I'm like, you know what? Got to finally do that. So this month is that pattern, but I do want to try doing it in a different way. So I'm playing with perspective here. Obviously, that's not the only thing you can do with different number of strands. I'd like to maybe do like some sort of floral piece or something where we do different strands just for different types of flowers. It might be hefty and fluffy, so we'd use more amount of thread, and then some might be more delicate and we'd use like less amount of thread. Just a thought, working that out. Okay, let's look at my diagram again for the 4 strands. Okay, this whole blob. All right, so we're gonna do the loop method again. So normally I would have about twice as much thread here, but I'm using up what I have left. So I've brought those 2 ends together. So my 2 threads that I took out is now 4 because we are doubling it up. And I got the fold at this side. So let's just keep my finger in that fold. Let's start with this guy here, I think. We'll go clockwise. All right, so I'm starting that back stitch, and then we're going to the back, and here's my fold. I'm going to bring that up and get my needle through there, through that loop, and then we're going to keep pulling, and that loop is going to catch on the thread, and that's all there is to starting with the loop method. That's it. It's like invisible practically. Then we can just keep stitching. Ugh, freaking love that. Love. So again, you can only do it if you're working with ultimately an even amount of thread. So we're doing 4 strands right now. But I love that. So if I'm using a different, like an odd amount of threads, I won't use the loop method because it won't work for that. But I'll just weave in the ends like how I wove them in at the end. I'll do that at the beginning. Ugh, Amber, isn't it? Someone mentioned it here a few months ago. And I've been kind of doing it ever since for projects that I use an even amount of thread for. Usually I'm actually using 3 strands of thread in most of my designs, but now I've been eking in these projects with an even amount of threads just so I can use that method. So freaking fun. It's just fast and easy, and I love it. It doesn't work with odd numbers because we start it by taking a strand of thread and folding it in half. So if you're wanting, like, we need to fold the thread in half so we have that loop on the other end. Like, that's the fold. And if there's like no way to get an odd number doing that, because if you fold one thread in half, you'll get 2. If you do 2 in half, then you get 4. So that's why. Although people, when I've said that before, people have said, oh, you can do it with 3 strands or whatever, with an odd amount, but I haven't wrapped my brain around that. So I might have to Google that again. But I don't know. Every once in a while, someone says you can do it with an odd number, and I'm not sure how they mean. So, but when I am using an odd number, I'll just weave in the ends. Instead of tying that knot. Yeah, this little tiny piece of thread isn't going to last me very long. I'm just trying to use up what was left on the skein before opening the new skein, but dang, I'm getting like half of one of these little jade loops done. Yep, it would be 6, not just 3, exactly. So if you separated 3 strands and folded them in half, you'd get 6, which you could, these are 6 strands up here. So I forgot that, I forgot about the loop method when I did those, so I just did all 6 strands on my needle and wove in the ends for those. I didn't use the loop method, but I coulda. Hey, Original Kitty, thanks so much. We're gonna get through all this green tonight, I think. I'm going to get these little loops while I can here. Ugh, I don't think I'll be able to get both with this amount of thread, but we'll see. I might be able to. I think we will. We'll use the sewing method. That might help. So the sewing method of stitching is when I go down and up in the same motion. So I'm going to go down and up. And now I can, oh gosh, this is hard with just this much thread left. I'm going to wrap around my loop around the front. Oh god, I got to set it down in front of the needle there. Oh gosh. Should have just woven the end and started fresh, but I think we're going to make it. There we are. Tack that little loop down, and I think that thread's done. So let's weave in the end. Just trying to grab as many threads as possible, and I always go back and forth 3 times. That 3rd time is kind of what locks this in. I kind of think of it as tying like a long knot. But this holds up to wash and all that. And you can trim it right close to the stitches too, so it just ends up looking super clean. I did a pretty big jump here. I don't usually do jumps that big, but I knew it was going to be covered up by the stitches when I do the stem, so I didn't worry about it. All right, let's get another one of our tiny pieces of thread left. All right, 2 more strands. Zoop. And let's get one more out of here. Come on, guy. There we are. Zoop. All right. Then we got one little 2-strand left. I think I am still going to have to get more floss, though. Oh, but wouldn't it be cool if I didn't? Because this is it for this dark green. All right, let's thread that. Let's see, what else do I have to do here? So the rest of this. So skip these 2 guys down here. Oh, I really only have one more. I have these 2 leaves, this leaf, and this whole grouping. So I was able to do this with 1. Maybe I could do this with 2. Ow! We might just literally have the exact perfect amount. That would be nice. That would be a good deal. Okay, we're going to do that loop method again. I could do you know, I've been doing the back stitch here, but I could do that tricky back stitch where you go one back stitch and then one forward stitch. That can extend the thread a little bit. I don't usually like doing that because, I don't know, I think my stitches don't look quite as nice, but that's being super dang picky. Oh, okay, so Debbie says you can use the loop method on odd strands sometimes if you start in the middle. Start in the middle and work half of the strand one way and half the other way. Okay, that's the edge of my understanding right now. Now I gotta picture it. So you start in the middle. So like you have to fold, like are you kind of folding it in thirds then? Okay, I gotta visualize it here. So like the needle's in the middle. So if this was in thirds, I'd have 6 strands. Oh, like you could, oh, but then it's not a loop though at the bottom yet. Man, I'm not quite getting it yet. I'm gonna have to Google it. I think I need photos. All right, so I am gonna try that backwards and then forwards. The part that I don't like about that is that I have to come up through this hole, and that's a little bit more difficult to do, I think. But let's just do it because I'll extend the length of my floss by doing that, or how long I can do it. So that's my forward stitch. Now let's do a back stitch. And then I always have to remember what my last stitch was too. Okay, now the forward stitch. Okay, and then a back stitch. All right, this leaf here. Back stitch. Oh no, Sharon! Ugh. I hope they get better soon. Yeah, I can understand. Sharon says that her little baby got COVID. Ugh. Yes. Sending sparkles your way for sure. Alright, forward stitch. Stitch. Okay, and then we got this guy. Whoa, scissors. Hey, Nolene. From the land of Oz. I just love that it's OZ. In the future. Nolene's in Australia, which is in the future. She says she's going to give us the Powerball tickets one of these days. The lottery tickets. The winners. That'll be fun. All right. Ooh, this is we're totally gonna get it all. I think. I think this doing the loop or the back stitch and then a forward stitch. That's really extending our usability of this thread. I don't know. Nolene always knows what's happening in the future. Exactly. For some reason, whenever I say future, like that Conan from the year 2000 pops into my head. Gotta be interesting to go back and watch some of those from like the 90s and see how accurate any of it was. I'm gonna have to switch. I'm gonna have to switch scissors when we're done with this green. I think the orange. I have orange scissors. That's probably as close to the brown. Oops, I did another back stitch. Let's do the back stitch and then forward stitch again. The brown. We're gonna match scissors to the colors. Or someone mentioned it on the first day. I'm like, oh, we could do that for the rest of the time. So I'll get the orange scissors out next. Because there are some 4-strand stuff yet. So this is all of the 4-strand greens, but we have some of these stems. So not all the stems. Some of the stems are on the smaller leaves, or the 2-strand leaves, I should say. But we got some 4-strand stems too. Oh, I just got that twinge of guilt again about my poor jade plant. I'm just not sure. He's just doing the best. We're going to bring him out in the summer and see if he gets better. He's fine. He's just not thriving or growing all that well. I feel like he's losing more than what he's growing. He's reaching out for the sun and it's just not there. Ah, sweet. Noeline from the future is going to give us the winning Powerball numbers. Awesome. Okay, so Debbie says, I use it when I backstitch with 1 strand. Do the loop halfway along the line. Okay, halfway along the line. Take 1 strand and work one way, and when you come back up, the third. Okay, so 1 strand goes down and then back up. Okay, but you leave the front. So you leave a length and then you're going in and then making 1 stitch and coming out. So you have a length on the front and then your long length connected to the needle. And then and then you do another stitch and catch that loop. Wait, then I'd have 4. Debbie, I'm gonna get it. I'm like the worst at like words and audio are like my least cognitive way of like learning. But if I saw it, I'd know it in like a sec. Take 1 strand and work one way. And when you come to the end of that thread, take the other strand and backstitch the other way. Okay, I'm not quite getting it yet. I'm gonna have to Google that tonight, Debbie. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm out of thread here. Let's weave in this end, and I think I'll have just enough thread with that last little piece that I won't have to start my whole new skein, which would be awesome. Oh yeah, Amber says we'll all notice you'll now write all your patterns so you can use the loop method. I have done a lot more 2-strand designs since learning the loop method. I know 2 strands is a popular amount of threads for people to use. I just always use 3 strands. I just like the thickness of that. And you know, when I was pulling thread apart like that, it was easier to do 3 and 3. But yes, definitely been doing more 2-strand bits. And I made this all even numbers too, so you could do the loop method, except for the 1 strand when you get all the way to the bottom. Oh, Amber says, I think she's saying you won't loop the strand, you just start in the middle of the thread. Alright. So, like, I can start in the middle, like I can have the ends on the other side, but then how does it make it like an odd, like how do you get that loop to start with an odd amount? That's the part I'm not quite getting. Okay, out of thread. So here's my last little tiny piece. Let's fold it in half. my last little 2 strands that we're making 4 strands out of. Okay, and teeny bits left. 3 leaves, and then those 2 little baby leaves. Oops, get in there. There we go. Essentially, it's just a backstitch start in the middle of the thread. But then isn't it still an even amount of threads? I'm so confused. Because aren't you still folding it in half if you're starting in the middle? Or are you doing a stitch and then coming back? Well, no, because you'd still have 2 strands. I'm confused. Oh yeah, you start with an odd... Oh, and no fold in half. Oh, but then how do you do the loop method? I put 1 strand aside to begin with, then I go back to it when I've used the first strand. Alright, I'm still not understanding the loop method part of it. Oh, it's not a loop, just a knot. Oh, so, well, yeah, you can stitch with an odd amount, but I was wondering if there was a way to start it with the loop method versus just like tying a knot or weaving it in. That's replying to Amber. Amber says it's a loop. It's not a loop. It's just a knot. Yeah, that's what we'll be doing for the kitty down here. We'll be just using 1 strand. So for that, we'll just be threading the 1 strand and weaving in the end. We won't be doing the loop method for that. Ooh, we're gonna still cut it pretty close. Oh, I'm not doing the forward back. That's why. I'm just doing the back stitch again. Let's do the back stitch and the forward stitch because we are already running out of this thread, and I know those chain stitches use up the thread quite a bit. And a back stitch. Okay, now we got our 2 little dudes here. Oh, we got tons of floss for this. Yay, I saved myself a skein of thread, a skein of floss here. We were able to do it all with the 1. But I stitch, I try to stitch like pretty economically. Like I try and take a path where I'm using the least amount of thread, so I feel like it may not be common to have enough thread with the 1 skein, so I did put 2 in. Oh, Sharon, you're not seeing all of the chat because I'm replying to... I have 3 chats open right now. I have YouTube chat open, Facebook chat, and TikTok chat. So that's why I'm trying to... I don't always... I'm not always great at it, but I am trying to read what the people are saying before I reply so everyone can hear, because I know everyone's on a different platform. Okay, all right, Debbie, I'm gonna go through it again. So I have 2 threads that come up. All right, so 2 threads that come up, and you put 1 aside. Okay, like one of the 2 strands aside, so you like unthread 1. I have 2 threads that come up. I put 1 aside, and backstitch with 1 towards the beginning. Okay, after that is used up, you go back to the thread you put aside and backstitch to the end. Oh, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Okay, you're coming up in the... Okay, I totally understand. So I'm going to explain it. Oh, I'm done. I just have to weave in the end. Or, yeah. Did I start weaving in the end? I think I might have. Okay, I totally get what you mean. Okay, I 100% get what you mean, and that's genius, and I'm going to do that for this kitty design. So, okay, I'm totally understanding. I think. Let's see if this is what you're meaning. I'm gonna try and say it back to you, and let me know if it's right. So, and since I don't have any thread right out here, I'm gonna pretend with a ribbon. So here's my thread, and I want to stitch with 3 strands. So this is 3 strands. Okay, my ribbon is representing 3 strands. So I want to stitch this line at the kitty's belly. So I'm actually going to start in the middle, and I'm going to pull this up, my 3 strands, and I'm going to let this rest of the strand just dangle off somewhere. So now I'm going to stitch the back stitches to this side of the body and use up this 3 strands, and then I'm going to stitch this way with my other half. I'm going to grab this from earlier and then stitch that later. And so I don't start with any knots. I still have to weave in the ends at both sides when I'm done. Is that what you're saying? Oh, you could do it with a long tail. Oh, but you don't have to do it with a long tail. Oh, I see. So I could just do, like, one bit could be a little bit shorter, and then the one. So that's interesting. So you'd have to be pretty good at estimating. Well, with that just one little bit, like, I could just put a couple inches on and just do a couple stitches, or even just like, yeah, maybe like 4 stitches, weave in that end, and then just continue with the other side. You know, that's a great idea. That's perfect. So that's like, you know, I like weaving in my ends at the beginning, but that's like a better way than doing in a way knot. You just do it right away. I like it. We'll have to do that for the kitty when we get that far. Because the kitty is the first thing, this stuff down here is the first thing that I'll have an odd amount of thread for. But hey, you guys, I saved this little dude here. I don't need him. He can be put away because we finished all that dark green. So let's do... Oh, Kev says, that's how I learned to hand quilt without knots. Ugh, so smart and so simple. That just makes so much sense. Okay, so next up, let's get some of this brown. Ooh, and let's switch scissors. Ooh, as I dump them all on the ground. Was it a scissors? Oh no, I just dropped the hook, not a scissors. All right, we're going to switch to an orange scissors now. Mr. Green is going to go away here because we are going to get this brown out, and I figure that's close enough. Actually, that's really close. That's closer than I thought it'd be. Sweet. All right. Great. So all of the red stems I need to do. So a little bit here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little bits. So I'm definitely gonna have to look at this to know what's what, but I think we'll start up here and kind of work our way around. All right, I'm gonna start with a normal, nice long piece again. So this is my double length piece because I am gonna keep using the loop method because I love it. All right, so I got about 48 inches that I folded in half to get 24 or so, I'm estimating. And now let's get our 2 strands out and fold in half for 4 still. All right, there's 1. This is still, I think, the fastest way to separate your threads. There we go. So I'm just isolating them one at a time and giving it a little pull. Zoop. Add the sound effect. And there we go. First little bit. Just lining up these ends a little bit. Oh, hey Sharon, I see you on Facebook now. Hello, hello. Yeah, I think in general, most of the chit chat is on Facebook. All right, snipping these ends just to clean them up so they're all at the same length without me having to work as hard. And let's thread that needle. Okay, let's see. Where do we start? Oops, let's get a little less thread here. There we are. I think, like I said, I think up here. Ooh, a little hard to see, but let's do these little crossbars first, I think. Ooh, a lot coming through there. Okay, going through our loop. There we are. Ooh, we have a second color in here finally. It's funny. It's been 3 days of that green. We have more green to go yet too, but it's that lighter color green. So this is the teddy bear color, the brown. Still backstitch, just a whole pile of backstitch in this design. All right, and then I'm jumping up here. We got a little couple stitches. This we should be able to go through much quicker than all the leaves, I'm thinking. So do you weave the ends in at the but you, so Debbie's saying it doesn't always work, but I hate weaving in ends and will do what I can do to avoid it. So, but you still have to weave in the ends, right? Or how do you, oh, or do you just stitch over the thread, maybe? Or do you still weave in the thread? You're just kind of starting in the middle. It sounded like a statement, but that was meant to be a question. I'm just statementing it out loud in my head. All right, let's get more of these. Okay, so I would go here, there, and back. Great. And then after that we get this one. So I'm gonna do the crossbar dudes here first. Oops, drop my needle. I think now it's starting to look a little bit like a jade plant. Two more in here. I think it's still, backstitch is still my favorite stitch to outline things with. I just like all the little beady little stitches that you can see. Just as feels like an embroidery then to me. And you can just get like precise curves and angles and stuff, whereas with some other outlining stitches, curves are a little hairy. Oh no! Jay Weaver says, I love doing embroidery, but my carpal tunnel is too bad. Ugh. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, Kathy, I mean, I'm talking normal now. Kathy says, is she whispering a lot or is my sound bad? I think I may have been mumbling to myself a couple times out loud in my head, but this is like I'm talking normal now. So if it's quiet now, then it's a problem. All right, let's do a forward stitch because that'll get me closer to where I need to go next. Okay, we're gonna jump down to here. We got this last little bit here, and then I'll probably be out of floss then, but then we can jump up. We still got those little stems up there. It's like little snakes running through here. Okay, I think let's just jump all the way over here. It's kind of a big jump, but that's okay. Oh, Robin says, I love my jade plant. It has gotten so big the past couple of years. So that's what I feel guilty about. We got one of my mom's, I don't really feel guilty, but I just feel sad for the plant. I got one of her big jade plants. She has a pile of large jade plants, so we took one of them. And it wants to be home with mommy. It doesn't want to be it doesn't want to be at my house. That's the problem. She does a much better job at taking care of all the little plant babies than me. So maybe we'll put them out. We'll put the jade out in the summer. I haven't done that here ever, just because I'm just afraid squirrels will tear it apart or something. I don't know. We'll see. It's not gonna hurt it much, I don't think. Okay, I still weave in the ends at the end of the thread, but you don't have to weave it in at the start. Okay, I'm imagining that again. I don't have to weave. Yeah, I don't have to weave at the start. Oh, but yeah, you weave both ends in when you're done. Okay, yeah, but you don't have to weave in. Okay, I see what you're saying. So you still have to weave in the same amount. You're just waiting till the end to do it instead of the beginning. Is that right? I've never tried that before, but it makes total sense. So does that like thread that's like, on deck waiting to be stitched next, does that ever just get in the way? Or do you have a trick for that? I'm going to interview you on this method until I have it all completely figured it out, Debbie. All right. This thread is lasting a bit long than I thought, which is fabulous. We'll be using it again for the table will be this color, and then all the rest of the stems as well, but we'll be switching to 2 strands for that. But I can still use the same piece if I have stuff left. All right, let's go forward here, just because it'll be closer to where I need to be again. Ugh, hard to come up with a forward stitch though. All right, and we'll probably go till I'm done with this thread. Maybe we'll get the second thread prepped. And that'll be that for tonight. All right, jumping up here, I'm looking at my diagram again. I'm just gonna do 1 stitch here just because it was the closest spot. And then let's see. Down, up, down will get me over there. Okay, so let's do I like mapping it out. Let's do the, I'm going to run out of floss way before then, but still. I'm going to do these guys first. I'm just happy to be done with the jades. Hey, Daniela. All right, so yes, here we'll come up. We're actually down, but down and then back up. Ooh, crack the fingers there. Ooh, you guys, I have a whole nother set of pretty little flowers coming. Someone had mentioned like having another thing to stitch because they didn't want to stitch the ABC collection because we'll be you know, because it's more little kid-esque, and if you don't want to stitch something like that, you want to stitch something kind of more like this. So I did a whole nother set of flowers. You know, we have that other set of summer blooms. We have the summer bloom series of like the 4-inch flowers. Ugh, I'm just loving making those. So I did another set of 5 of those. So we will have kits of those in March coming really, really soon. I might actually stitch them live. Gosh, I might just even pop on during the day sometimes and just stitch them live for the samples. But those will be available super duper soon. Actually, we might even put up not a pre-order, but like a wish list for them. So that, not a wish list, like a remind me button. Oh, Catherine says, oh no, I'll want to do both then. I'm really excited for them. We might have to fit them in. They're just so fun to draw, these like cute little flowers. And there's so many fun flowers. I want to do them for like southern flowers and, you know, plants and stuff too. I would love to do it by region and time of year, or, you know, it'd be fun to even do like the same thing with like birds or something. I'm just having a ton of fun drawing them. So I have them all printed on fabric. I have colors picked out for them, floss colors, and now I just need to stitch it. Ugh, I'm excited. All right, I think I'm on a thread. Dang, that thread lasted a long time, though. I mean, I guess comparatively, we're stitching a whole lot less, but we're covering way bigger distance than, you know, all of these groupings where, you know, you just do one of these flowers. Oh, do we have any hibiscus? Not yet. Oh, do we sell the alphabet separately, or just does it come in as a kit? So, Monica, the alphabet, so like here's an example. We started stitching it this month, so we have the A done and the B done. We did all the coloring in for that. They are actually not kits, they are patterns. So here's just the cover one because it's within reach. It actually has an iron-on pattern in it and a traceable pattern. So it's not pre-printed like these. So you can buy them all separately. They're also available as PDFs separately, and then we did put together some bundles where it comes with all the fabric you need and hoop and floss and all that to stitch it with us. And we're going to be stitching it all throughout the year, so there's plenty of time to get going on it yet. It's literally going to take us the whole year. So we're stitching it the first and second week of the month. So the first week will be like one letter and the second week will be another letter. I'm hoping to stitch it into a quilt as well as we go. So more info on that coming up. But they're available as just like paper patterns or PDF patterns. And then, you know, like I said, there's bundles where it can turn into kits. All right. You guys, I think that's where we're going to stop it tonight. So we have we have the rest of our brown thread here yet. Oh, Amber, I do not have a hibiscus yet, but ooh, that'd be cute. Actually, we do have a hummingbird design. That's a hibiscus, right? Yeah, so we have a hummingbird design that's this size, like an 8-inch size. So if you go on our website, just, at our profile, and just in the fastest way I find is just in the search. There's a search bar in right at the top of the page. If you just type in like hummingbird, that one has some big hibiscus flowers in. But see, that's what I would think would be so fun. So like, I would totally take requests. So that would be like a fun. That would go in like a tropical flower collection. I'd love to do that as well. All right, let's, back is looking cool. I think that'll be that for tonight. So tomorrow we will, all that we have left for the 4 strands is, this little stem here. That is it for the 4 strands. Dang, that's sweet. So that means tomorrow we can start on the 2 strands. I mean, we could really, I can jump to the 1 strand too, but I've just been going kind of in order from fattest to thinnest. So we'll start the 2 strands, which is more jade leaves, but it's now in the lighter color. So we have that lighter color green, just a little, but a little lighter. That will be everything else for the jade plant will be that lighter color, but it's 2 strands now, so it's going to be even a thinner line. So this started as 6 strands, now we're going to be going to the 2 strands, so it's further away leaves, but I don't have to worry about what leaves they are, because it's just whatever else that's there as leaves is going to be the green, this light green. And then we also have a few more of those stems. Maybe I'll do the stems first, just because I'll be already working with the brown. I just had to make it 2 strands instead of 4. Oh, we have the brown going around the table there too. We could do that. Or maybe we'll wait on the brown. I kind of like doing the leaves first. Anywho, that's, I think, what will be next. So I'll be here again. Here, let me flip you guys around. So I'll be here again on tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and we'll spend another hour on this feller. It's definitely getting fleshed out. Like I'm seeing it now. We got a whole lot of surface area covered on him for sure so far. So awesome, you guys. Thank you again for joining me. It is a pleasure to hang out with you every night here. And I look forward to chatting again tomorrow. And thanks for the tips today, Debbie. I'm going to try that out when we get to the cat part of it here. So awesome. Have a lovely rest of your evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.